Hello, I am Dassy Roja. I decided to do another kind of comparison video about sympathy and unsympathetic villains. The two characters that are villains we're talking about is Arno from Jailpet Twinkle, Gabriel Grass from Marcus Ladybug. The reason why I chose these two characters because they have similar backstories to each other, but they are different. I choose simplified versus unsimplified villains because their backstories are related to one another. At first, I'm going to talk about Arno. Arno's backstory and how she became a villain is because of her past life and her mom. Her mom was born in Jailland. She was born a magical wizard. She dreamed to visit the werewolf world, which is the Earth in Jailpet Twinkle. But due to her being born in Jailland, she can't go to the werewolf world because her life would be slowly draining her. Away. This is said by Lady Jewel. Her mom went to werewolf world anyways. Mom fell in love and had two identical twins. One girl, one boy, named Yuma, and the other girl named Ano. She enjoyed her life taking care of Yuma and Ano, but her life was draining away. Lady Jewel visited her, told her she was worried about her because her life was being drained away. Her mom said that she will give up her power with the Baptist. She went back to Jailland and went to find a Baptist. She found it and she opened it, hoping her magic would be drained away. Instead, the Baptist sent negative magic all throughout Jailland. She sacrificed herself to Jailland to defeat the Baptist. She safely saved Jailland, but she died in the process. Yuma and Ano got separated by the Baptist. Yuma went to the werewolf world, and Ano went to the Jailland world. Ano does not know the truth about her mother. She thinks that Lady Jewel did it. Ano does not trust anyone because she was judged as a child, so she mostly keeps her distance and not open up. And her magic's pretty dangerous, so the teachers thought it best to keep her in the old school apartment and no one shall talk to her and to keep her alone, stay away from anyone. Anna spent there alone until she made a jail pet that was named Diana. Diana was a prankster. Diana had a prankster personality to her. And Diana's job was to find the Baptist. Now, what the Baptist is negative emotions of the human. The human will be anger, sadness, anything above, and it will be very dangerous if it's out in the open, and it's very, very powerful. So Anna wants that power, hoping it will bring her mom back and be with Yuma, her brother. This sounds a bit similar to Gabriel, but he has done really bad things. Let's now talk about the Gabriel Grass. Gabriel Grass' reason why he became a villain is because Emily basically got into a coma, or is she dead? Honestly, I really don't know. The reckless ladybug. That basically Emily got very sick, and that resulted to her to be dead, going with dead, and that he wants to bring her back to life. So to do that, he needs a ladybug and channel water miraculous. He does this by using the butterfly miraculous, the coup type people, to get the ladybug and channel water miraculous. He caused Paris to be danger many times, and he gets hurt. He's hurt so many times and gets very, very obsessed with power. He goes by his villain name, Hawkmoth, throughout season 1 to season 3. And then he changes his name to Shadowmoth for season 5 when he has a peacock miraculous, and then his different motive, different area is a comatized people and gives him something monsters, and his still goal to get the ladybug and chapter more miraculous. And then we're into season 5, and he calls himself Monarch because he has all miraculouses by Ladybug, and his goal is still to get the Ladybug and channel more miraculous in order to bring his wish to come true, which is bringing Emily back to life and a world where she is still alive and she is not sick. That's what he wants to do. He's very obsessed with power. So I noticed, well, he really does not care for the Kwamis. He calls them useless creatures in season 5 and calls them his slaves. That's not a Senpai villain. And also, he had his chance to bring Emily back to life. He chose not to. When he was getting that USB drive to give to his past self, he didn't do it because he was too obsessed with Ladybug and China Moore to destroy him. So he went back, tried to destroy him, and he got defeated again, which he could have saved Emily back then, but honestly he didn't. So he became very, very obsessed with his power, and honestly he went back to his usual job, which is getting Ladybug and China Moore miraculous. Now, I know has put people in danger, but she didn't really have anyone, so I guess she doesn't really care about reasons to put people in danger if she didn't trust anyone and basically her family was taken away from her. She basically also has a brother named Yuma, but she never wants to hurt him. She does make a threat to him, but she doesn't hurt him because one, she doesn't intend to hurt him. With Gabriel, he will hurt his son, no matter what. What I meant to say is Chad Blanc, he literally hit his son and kubatais him again, and then Emerald, he kubatais him again, hurt his son mostly. Like, okay, he doesn't care about him at all. Well, with no, she does care about her brother. She really does. But she will try anything to get the power back. Now, there is one point where she is like Gabriel a bit, but that's when the Baptist is controlling her. The Baptist, mostly, she does get in contact with the Baptist, and the Baptist like consumes part of her. Her hair turns white, her eyes turn cold, and she becomes like a whole other different person. And she becomes more dark, and she wants, basically, Lady Jewel to bow down to her. This is only because the Baptist has taken control of her. And she does get saved in Jail Pet Twinkle by the main character, and she gets her powers taken away. For Gabriel, it's not over yet. He is basically still have his powers until Ladybug and China Moore defeat him. Back on Gabriel, I feel like his reason for becoming a villain doesn't really set him as a villain. For all those reasons, it made sense why she became villain. She was basically, when she was a child, she was this is all happening when Anno's a kid. She is a little kid. Her age is like around like 12. And she's having everything taken away when she's a kid. So it makes sense that she's becoming the villain because she doesn't know how to cope with her mom being sacrificed and her Yuma being in another world and they can't meet her ever again. And Gabriel, well, only thing that happened was Emily somehow went into a coma or died. She died, and he's trying to get her back, but it doesn't really explain anymore. So Gabriel is the unsympathetic villain for many reasons I have shown right here. Now, I'm doing this drawing with Anno and Gabriel Agress, just comparing the two of an unsympathetic villain and a simplified villain. I don't think Gabriel in Reckless Label is supposed to be the simplified villain because of how he's shown in the Reckless community. I think he's supposed to be the unsympathetic villain about how he's shown, and he just basically has not shown any sympathy whatsoever because he has done very, 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 very bad things. I also forgot to explain how Emily got into a coma. Basically, there was a flashback that he was giving Emily the peacock necklace, which it is damaged, which we don't know why it got damaged. I'm assuming it has to do with Master Fu's memory, which is basically he used a peacock necklace because he was hungry, and since he used it in a way that was not a good way, ended up consuming a lot of things, and I guess that's why the world got erupted, and that's why the peacock has got damaged. I'm thinking, but I honestly don't know. Since the peacock necklace was damaged, Emily used it and she got very sick. Now, like, now you know how Emily got sick, and how like this is very similar to Anna. But Anna has a more detailed story than Get What Gabriel has, and I kind of wish Michael put more detailed into Gabriel's story, because there's so much we don't know about him, and it just makes kind of no sense why he became villain with just Emily being dead and he is trying to bring her back to life. It kind of makes no sense to me. But for all I know, it made sense to her because he has more detailed explanation. And they kind of like introduced her when she was basically introduced, and they gave her a more detailed explanation why she became a villain. Anywho, that's it for this video. I thought it was like nice to just compare these two, talk about these two, since they have very similar backstories to each other, and even though their ages are different, they kind of like when I heard in a way. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you like and subscribe, and make sure to comment down your thoughts of the video.